What's up, Withington kids? Today we are talking about bridges. Bridges help people and cars and trains cross over things like water and railroad tracks and maybe even other bridges. Just like our castle walls and foundation, bridges have to be super strong to be able to support all different kinds of loads. Bridges get their strength from the materials used as well as their design. Each bridge is designed to distribute loads or weight between specific points. They do this through a combination of pulling forces called tension and pushing forces called compression. These suspension bridges have nothing underneath to support them. Instead, the forces of tension and compression are perfectly balanced so that the bridges stay floating among the trees. The Lionsgate Bridge, or the Lionsgate Bridge as I used to call it, is also a suspension bridge, but on a much larger scale. The weight of this bridge is suspended by these cables here. That might seem scary, but a good engineer knows how to perfectly balance the weight so that the bridge is strong and safe to cross. Some bridges also lift. This one in Vancouver lifts up so that boats can cross underneath. There's a famous bridge in London called the Tower Bridge. I would love to see it one day, but maybe not in the middle of a pandemic. For now, let's just look at a picture. The bridge uses hydraulics to lift both sides into the air so that tall boats can cross through. What are hydraulics, you ask? That's a great question. It's the movement of pressurized liquid through pipes that's used to move another object. Why don't we go back to the workshop and try it out now?
So this activity has two parts. First, you'll need to design and build your bridge, and then you need to build the hydraulic system. So design your bridge. I did a flat drawbridge, kind of like a door for mine, but you can also build a taller structure. Once that is all done, you'll need to fill up a syringe with water and attach it to the tubing. You might need to ask an adult for help, but I didn't bring an adult with me to work today, so I guess I'll just have to manage. First thing to make the hydraulic system is to close the syringe and suck up all the water. And then you can insert the tubing. Next, you're going to push the water down to the end of the tube. Now you want to make sure that there's no air in the tube. So your tube might be a little long. That's okay. Just give it a little trim down. Then you're going to suck up all the water so it fills the syringe and the tubing. And then you're going to attach the other syringe. Test it by pushing gently on one syringe and watching the other move. The syringes and tubing are creating pressure because we are applying a large amount of force to a relatively small area. This does not mean that you should push really hard, because if you do, well, this could happen. A hydraulic machine uses liquid to create motion, whereas a pneumatic machine uses air to create motion. If you're trying this at home, try using different fluids to create motion. You can use oil or water and air. Yes, air is a fluid. Remember to write down your observations and think about what you want to use for your final design. Once you have your bridge and your hydraulic system, then you need to attach them together. You do this by using these small white wires. Now you might need to play around with different positions on the bridge to see what allows it to open and close, and you might also need to use some tape to hold your bridge and your structure together. This might be a pretty tricky thing and you might need your parents to help. You might also want to try using pipe cleaners or twist ties to try and attach it if it's easier for you. We know that when sin entered the world, it was like a wall went up between us and God, but the good news is that God sent Jesus to be a bridge between us and God. The sins of the world is a pretty big load, and so we need someone pretty awesome and pretty powerful to help us cross to the other side. That's why through Jesus and only through Jesus can we get to heaven. We are invited to be a part of God's kingdom, but we need to make the choice to cross to the other side and be one of God's children. We can also choose to stay where we are and stay on this side. The choice is up to you, but know that you're invited. So that's all for today. Happy building. Bye.